Namaste, viewers. I'm Vibhuti Jha. This is Jaipur Dialogue USA. Welcome to the show. And as always, I request you please like, subscribe, and support our channel. And thank you for your support so far, which has been pretty magnificent. And I want to tell you something. In the last 5 or 6 months, we have added more than 25,000 new subscribers. That's very heartening for me. Thank you very much for supporting it because since last 6 months I have become also very much regular out here. Earlier I used to do very short shows once in a week, did not take off as I wanted, but now it is looking good. Thank you very much for your support. Sincerely appreciate it. Today I want to talk to you about a topic which is very dear to my heart. I have often said that this century belongs to Sanatan Dharma, Hindu philosophy, and all because the development in science and technology is aiding the spread of our knowledge and wisdom. It's very important. The science and technology is enabling the greater understanding of Sanatan principles, Vedic Shastra, and the way we are, because we are based on Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, not in the traditional sense as we use it, but as in terms of the fact that the entire universe is nature. That's the important part. We know that thunder and light. We now know that thunder and lightning doesn't happen because gods are angry, right? And then there is a thing called Panchang, which I got introduced to because of my father, who used to read Panchangs very, very well. And he used to talk about it to us, to me particularly. So I'm aware of that. Panchangs lead to forecast position of planetary stars and everything else. Now, I wanted to talk to you about the Vedic science, Vedic astrology, or Jyotish Shastra, whether it is science or pseudoscience. Because they say the Western world defines us because we have never cared to define ourselves. So the Western people say that astrology has not demonstrated its effectiveness in controlled studies and has no scientific validity and is thus regarded as pseudoscience. So today we are going to talk to you about a Jyotishi Shastri, Sri Kartik Gorji, who has been on Jaipur Dialogue several times. So, Kartik ji, welcome to the show, to Jaipur Dialogue USA. You are here for the first time. So, welcome to the show. And I had met you in Jaipur. It was a real special pleasure to meet with you and talk to you about my experience of that. So, the provocative title, Science or Pseudoscience, because science is going to enable us. And we see 7 days forecast of weather, and people do all the pollings to forecast something. Tell us, give us your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Vibhuti ji. Namaste to all, and pleasure to be in your channel for the first time, although it's just an extended family, frankly speaking.
That's right.
So, on Thanksgiving Day, it is nice to be here. See, coming from a logical background, I always like to address the naysayers, so to say, right? Because even they have a certain sort of a logic to their argument, even they have a certain experience to their argument. So let me address that question because even I come from a background where I was a very logical person. Though I come from a family of priests, born in Somnath and having a legacy of that, but I was always that logical person who wanted to know the why behind everything. I commonly say, don't tell me what to do, tell me why to do. So don't tell me कि भाई आज एकादशी है आप आज fasting कर लो. Tell me the logic to why I should be fasting on Ekadashi. Don't tell me Saturn is bad और आपका साढ़े सात ही चल रहा है. Tell me why is साढ़े सात ही bad. So that was the logic with which I became a fence sitter because I couldn't get that rational knowledge, and until the time I got that rational knowledge, I was somebody who also thought that अरे यार this astrology is all waste of time and यार इससे कुछ नहीं होता है. There is only one concept, that is the concept of hard work, and once you do hard work you get the results, right? Like most of us must be having, which is also a correct logic because Jyotish also has got Shani, which is all about your hard work, right? So and he's the Karaka for the 10th house also. So The first concept is that, listen, Jyotish in today's time is not going to be 100% right. The logic to that, or the rationale to that, is we have lost lot of our Jyotish text. With the Muslim invaders coming in, there were a lot of Jyotish texts which have actually been destroyed. We are just talking about one library which was burnt in Bihar. But there are many other such libraries or many other such small books and all those things which were burnt. For example, the Jaimini Sutras that I learned from, we have now about two odd volumes. But my Gurudev told me that there were 6 volumes, and his Gurudev said there were 12 volumes. So what is happening is, as Kali Yuga also comes up, there is, in a way, the knowledge is being shrunk. So now, with the limited knowledge, there are astrologers and there are a lot of good students who are doing phenomenally well, and they are still giving predictions to a level of 90%, 95%, right? Which I feel is definitely good. Because even if you, like, I'll give you a simple example. I just recently purchased the top of the line BMW. Now, BMW has got a reverse assist as well, where you can sort of, it will identify the parking slot and it will park on its own. But even that comes with a rider. That, guys, we have tested it, but please, put your feet on the brakes, in case the software goes crazy, we are not
That's right.
to be blamed.
That's right.
Similarly happens with even cruise control initially when it came, and how many cruise control failures have happened globally, where suddenly it gets jammed, it doesn't work, and they call the police. Even in Dubai, we have had those cases where police comes in, the rescue team comes in, and they help the driver get rescued. So similarly, even in when we talk about our Vedic Shastra, especially Vedic astrology, or I generally like to call it Jyotish, there is a lot of knowledge which has gone away.
Hmm.
Now, yes, we might blame people that, okay, these are the guys who did it, these are all mindset issues, this, that, everything. Yes, agreed. But we also have to take a rational understanding that, hey, listen, if a Kali Yuga has to go to a darker period, the only way you can get darker is by lack of knowledge. So we can, in a way, say that, hey, listen, is this God's way of ensuring that, hey, listen, Kali Yuga has to go through various phases? If you are going to have knowledge at that level, if you are going to have meditation at that level, where you can get siddhi at this level, it's going to be very tough for people to do things what we are doing today,
Right.
which is completely irrational. लेकिन अभी उसको समझाया कैसे? उसको समझ इसलिए नहीं आएगा because that part of the knowledge, even from his religion or his sect, has gone away for him to behave like this. So this is my opening, sort of an initial understanding, that with whatever practical understanding that I understand, is that, hey, listen, nothing in this world is 100% guaranteed. I always say, even within the best of the friends, best of the relationship, it is like a medicine. There is an expiry date. Whether the friendship breaks by a normal procedure because of misunderstanding or whatever happens, or by the concept of bhuloka, which is death, mrityu. So वो एक्सपायरी डेट तो लिखी हुई है. Similarly, in Jyotish and all, you can't expect. Otherwise, imagine life would be like a chat GPT, right? A lot of people ask me, Kartik ji, why don't you do Jyotish with chat GPT? Oh, I got this nice thing. And I said, please try. I'll give you a few combinations that, okay, this is the horoscope. Now this planet is third from Aruda Lagna, aspected by Mangal. Please tell me, what would you say? So chat GPT says that, no, 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 this is too complex. You understand? So
Yeah.
this is almost like a doctor's profession. Now you give me one doctor, who has got 100% track record. Nobody will have. तो वो जो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में कि भाई, इफ यू आर प्लेइंग टेस्ट क्रिकेट, आपका भाई शर्ट जो होगा वो भाई फील्डिंग किया है तो आपका शर्ट व्हाइट तो नहीं हो सकता. एंड इफ इट इज अ प्योर व्हाइट शर्ट, देन फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग यू हैव नेवर बीन इन द फील्ड. So when people sit down and troll astrologers or troll anybody for that matter, Jyotish Vidya or Vedic science, कि भाई आयुर्वेदा में हमने किया यार, लेकिन we that patient couldn't survive. Obviously, nothing is 100%, right? You can't expect, which is, I don't think Baba Ramdev also claims that, he has a 100% track record of curing everybody. I don't think even Shri Ravi Shankar or Sadhguru will have a 100% track record that, they have taught meditation to the level at which where they can get Siddhi, to 100% of the people that they have taught. Similarly, any astrologer who is claiming that he is 100% and 100% guaranteed, understand it's a scam. He is fake. Because if he is genuine, if he is down to earth, if he has learned from a guru, and if he has that guru chakra active, then he will never make such false claim. Because by default, he is trying to elevate himself as God, elevate himself as a rishi. And the moment he does that, he is playing around. And that is the biggest disservice that 90% of the Jyotishis are doing. And I jokingly say that, guys, I came into Jyotish when I was at the top of my career. I was in the top IT industry. I was managing a team, and I had no reason, no financial reason to get into Jyotish. Whereas 80 to 90% of the other so-called astrologers get into Jyotish because और कुछ नहीं कर पाए.
Mm, true.
You understand that there is a big difference.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then कुछ नहीं कर पाए तो चलो यार एक आध बुक ज्योतिष का पकड़ लिया. You see me, I'm wearing a black shirt. People will say, "Arey, black is very bad color." I say, "Arey, it is color of my mother. It is the color of Kali. She is the one who cleans the child. Without Kali, how did you get big? You didn't even know the basic toilet habits. It is because of Ma Kali that you were able to clean yourself, and from that you got the bijas clean, which we then say as clean or cling." So I try to break every rationale. Not dressed as a typical astrologer. I know there is huge money. I would do, in fact, much more better if I was to wear some orange clothes or have some tika with 10 gemstones in the hand and gale mein sab kuch hoga and 10 disciples around me. But I don't do it purposely, Vibhuti ji, because it comes with tons of karma. And after learning Jyotish for so many years, if I'm not going to understand the importance of karma, importance of Kriyaman karma, and how I can in a way match fixing, I can in a way ensure that in case I'm reborn in the next birth, which 99% I will be born, because people feel that moksha is like this. Moksha doesn't come like that, my friend. So a lot of times when people say that Kartik ji, in US we have got a 4-hour course for moksha, I start laughing. ऐसे 4 घंटे में मोक्ष दे देते हैं? वाह! You know, I don't have that much ability, boss.
फिर ले
नहीं तो
लीजिए, अगर ऐसा है,
ले
4 घंटे में
लीजिए।
अगर मोक्ष मिल जाता है, तो ले लीजिए. This is something which I always did in my business. If any client said, "Oh, you are promising only 5% return, others are promising 10%," I said, "Go take it."
Exactly,
If somebody is giving
exactly.
you 10%, take it. But take that, as a guaranteed earning. Don't go carried away by the word. But you made a very powerful statement, was that even doctors and medicines, they have so many disclaimers. And I joke about it that if you heard the likely side effects of the main medication that you are having, I say I'm happy to live with what I know rather than not knowing what is going to what could potentially happen. And
Correct.
you have given a very powerful message.
We all would do what Novak Djokovic did.
Exactly. So, that's the point which I'm trying to say, that this is very, very powerful. The issue here is also very important. Is the scientific part of it. Do we have programs and courses in astrology and Jyotish Vidya that people can attend and then become ज्योतिषाचार्य, so to say? क्योंकि वो भी एक बहुत बड़ी चीज है कि डिग्री है हमें, और डिग्री से आप क्या कहते हैं वो लिख लोढ़ा पढ़ पत्थर वाली बात हो जाती है.
Exactly.
तो
लकीर के फकीर.
लकीर के फकीर बन जाते हैं आप. तो डिग्री होने से एजुकेशन नहीं आता. डिग्री आने से लिटरेसी की भाव एक चढ़ता है, ज्ञान नहीं
Correct.
आता. और वो जो बात आपने कही कि ऑलवेज फाइंड आउट द रीजन व्हाई, एंड दिस आई हैव बीन डूइंग ऑल माय लाइफ. मैं क्यों कर रहा हूं? Why do I do this? The moment you know the why, the things become exciting. So the other part which I wanted to share with the audience and also your thought on it is that in the US, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi brought the Vedic tradition, the study of consciousness, and he is always known as Gurudev. Every Maharishi Mahesh Yogi follower addresses him as Gurudev.
Absolutely.
और वहां पे एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल चार्ट जो होता नहीं है उसकी बड़ी महत्ता है. मेरे साथ हुआ कि एक टीएम ग्रुप का बंदा, अमेरिकन बंदा, हमारी दोस्ती बहुत अच्छी है और हम दोनों ने साथ साथ काम करने की सोच बढ़ाई हुई इस पे कि लेट्स डू सम बिजनेस टुगेदर. वी हैड सम parallels that were running very well, potential. He said, Vibhuti, send me your date of birth and time of birth and everything else. I want to do the astrological match. I did not know that the TM group does that in a very scientific way. And he came back to me after 5 days saying that, Vibhuti, let's remain friends because astrological charts say that if we do business, we will have a lot of clashes.
Correct.
So tell me one thing here, that why the West is accepting it. TM Group is doing it in the US. If you go to them, they do it. How does, what have we done to make this as a scientific thing and remove the accusation of being a pseudoscience? It's like a quack in doctor, quack
Correct.
in every practice, midwifery and other things. And the scientific part of the Vedic part. Where will that come from and how? And why must it happen?
Yeah, frankly speaking, Vibhuti ji, we have done precious little. And that is, in fact, one of my missions. If you go to my X account also, my header does says that I want to bring back our Vedic Gurukul. And the biggest disservice that has happened in India is that we stopped our Vedic Gurukuls. We stopped our Vedic system, and to a level where we became so much of a woke that we look down upon people, who would wear a dhoti. आपको शेरवानी वाला चलेगा, लेकिन आपने किसी धोती पहना है तो even people, I'm talking about even Brahmins. I'll give you a simple example. I had a Brahmin, वो मेरे को बोल रहा है, यार मेरी बेटी को कार्तिक समझाओ. तो मैंने बोला, क्यों, क्या हो गया? वो बोला कि शी डजंट वांट टू मैरी वन ऑफ माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स सन बिकॉज ही वेयर्स अ धोती और वो यजमान का काम करता है. तो वो बोलती है कि मैं नहीं, मुझे तो कोई जीन्स वाला ही शादी करना है. एंड शी मैरिड समबडी विद अ जीन्स who used to earn probably 10,000 rupees, selling credit cards. And that guy who is wearing a dhoti makes nothing less than 2 lakhs a month and a top Vedic scholar. And that divorce happened. She couldn't manage with that 10,000 a month. So why I brought it up is somewhere down the line, wo wokism, that heen bhavna, what we say, or inferiority complex, has somewhere down the line at a subtle level gone into us, where we were told that actually we have lost everything. And to a certain level, we started having that subconscious thing कि अरे यार हमको तो सबने हराया यार, we were पहले ब्रिटिशर्स थे, मुगल्स थे, यार हमको तो यार सबने यही किया है. Whereas that was not the case. And even if that was the case, we are the only country where we actually glorify the rulers, which is very sad. And it is even more sad that even after, frankly speaking, even after Modi ji has come, I see precious little being done. Like, I told even in Jaipur Dialogues that if you are going to take a lot of pride in saying कि भाई हमने education system में neither comma change किया है, neither full stop change किया है, तो I would frankly say shame on you.
That particular education minister, I was horrified when he said that statement कि हमने कुछ चेंज नहीं किया. मैंने कहा कि इसमें कौन सा बड़ा आपने काम किया. कि it's a
Exactly.
matter of shame. If I were there, I would be ashamed of that.
He
Coming to that
didn't
part of it,
give you 283 to 303 to tell us that भैया हमने कुछ नहीं किया, ना ही हम कुछ करेंगे.
yes,
So
I don't
now
know
if you
why
have
he's
got
thinking about taking
240
the badge
from
of honor.
303, then frankly speaking, you have to do a lot of self introspection कि भैया ये हुआ क्यों? ये हुआ इसलिए क्योंकि आपने कुछ किया नहीं.
Or was it the stars?
It was an amalgamation of stars, no? Because see, I'll tell you, since I'm here for the first time and we didn't get to talk in length, even when the elections were happening, my thought to BJP and people who I was talking to was very clear that it has to happen when Surya is in Aries, which is Mesha Rashi. The elections has to be then, and it has to be there not more than 3 phases. So they did it when Surya was in Aries, but they stretched it to 7 phases.
Oh,
Now, as a strategist, you would understand that if you have the biggest battalion, biggest army, biggest karyakartas, why would you stretch it so long, when it can be done in a quick 2020 way? Because you have all the resources, all the karyakartas. And plus, I wanted that election to be held only when Surya is in Mesha. It should not transit because Surya in Mesha is Rama. Aries, Surya gets exalted. The planet Sun gets exalted in a sign called Aries. That is Aries. Sri Ram is associated with Ram Mandir. So I told them, if you want to get the full advantage and if you really want to do it in 3 phases. But then they decided to do it in 7 phases. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, see, just the other day, somebody asked me an interesting question. Kartik ji, what happens when people ask for specific time for delivery? You understand? This is also a question which a lot of your viewers must be having. कि काफी लोग डिलीवरी का टाइम पूछते हैं कार्तिक जी तो how does it matter and can they fix it that way? I say that yes, prima facie understand if somebody is asking for the time of delivery, they are not asking because they have a lot of money or their wisdom is very high. It is because of the bhagya of the child which is going to come. You understand? Because the child probably has got Jupiter very strong. It has put that viveka in the parent's mind that, hey, why don't you take some Vedic wisdom? Why don't you ask a Jyotishi? Now, second scenario, if the child is not destined to have that blessing, वो कितना भी पैसा लगा दे, वो उस टाइम में या तो डॉक्टर नहीं आएगा, या तो बिजली चली जाएगी, या तो something will happen and they will not be able to deliver the child in that muhurta. And that happened with a very, very top minister's son in Lucknow. They asked me the exact time. मेरे को उन्होंने बड़े ही अहंकार से बोल दिया, अरे कार्तिक जी आप टाइम बताइए, हम तो सब कुछ मैनेज कर लेते हैं, मतलब डॉक्टर क्या उसके पूरे खानदान को लगा देंगे. It didn't happen. And then he came back to me in a very humble way. कार्तिक जी आपने मेरे को बोला था कि भाई अगर बेटे का भाग्य में नहीं है तो वो नवांश नहीं मिलेगा. Now that this is the birth time, now tell me what is to be done. Then I asked him, was he in an incubator? क्या क्या ये हुआ था, वो हुआ था. And then, we confirmed that this was the Navamsha. So what am I trying to say? It's a very, very interesting. That's why I'm in love with Jyotish. Because it's all about learning. You are learning every day. If an Amitabh Bachchan says that I learn every time when I enter a set, he is telling the right thing. He is not being humble. Because for an actor, even one light here or there, or it is same reaction to a cue, how do you react it differently? There is no film which is the same. A director's vision is different. Like I'll tell you, the other day I was watching Gladiator, and Troy is one of my all-time favorite. I don't know whether you have watched it.
I've seen it.
Brad Pitt wala. And Troy is pure Jyotish. Where you are
Okay.
saying the Apollo is nothing but Surya.
Right.
So what does it mean that Greeks were always Surya worshippers? When Brad Pitt comes over and,
Yes,
and
yes.
his that assistant says that, they are Apollo worshipper, Apollo is seeing at all time, and he cuts the head of Surya. And who is that Achilles? Achilles is nothing but a Rudra. That's why he couldn't be killed anywhere else except for the arrow hitting his feet. So why does Rudra only have to be born in India? Like Bhima is a Rudra, Hanuman is a Rudra. You look at Mahabharata. Frankly speaking, we give a lot of importance to Arjuna and everything. Who was the real hero of Mahabharata? It was Bhima. All the 100 Kauravas alone Bhima has killed. But he
Including
doesn't get the
Duryodhan.
PR.
Including Duryodhan.
या सारे ना 100 में सब आ गए. किसी को चीर के फाड़ा, किसी को गदा से मारा, किसी को इससे मारा, किसी को उसने मारा. बट ही इज लाइक द राहुल द्रविड ऑफ द एंशिएंट टीम. यार सारा लाइमलाइट सचिन तेंदुलकर पे होता था.
Ah,
You understand?
fascinating way you are connecting the ancient. personalities with the modern avatars of that. That's fascinating. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't
And I
want to
do it
stop
with Jyotish also. So, I'll tell you, the why. So when I started learning Jyotish, I remember very clearly my first class. I started Jyotish and we learnt a lot in a place called Almoda. In those days, it used to be part of Uttar Pradesh only. Now it is Uttarakhand, obviously. Uh, so my first class over there, Jyotish class, was about Atmakaraka. The planet which gains the highest degree in your horoscope. And
Mhm.
that is the planet which tells you why are you born in the first place. So during those days, I used to follow a guy called Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek says, "Don't tell me what you do, tell me why you do."
Yes, I remember that.
It's like a straight lift off from what Swami Vivekananda said. Don't tell me when you were born, tell me why you were born. So that first class itself, I had tears in my eyes. And I made one promise to myself that Kartik, you are going to learn this very well and you are going to deliver it in a certain way which is very logical, applicable, and ethical. So people, when they will go to my website, they will see that under my name, and that is subconsciously, maybe Mahadev gave me those three words at that point of time, which I ended up using it after 10 years when I made my website. But that was a strong why that, hey, listen, I don't want to be that typical Panditji. And no offense to Panditji. Pandit is a very, very big word. That's why I don't use it with myself. A lot of people tell me, Kartik, you should be calling yourself as Pandit Kartik Gaur. I say, nahi bhaiya. Only one Pandit is there, that is my Gurudev. And that Pandit gives you a lot of heaviness. Here I'm happy being light. ये आई डोंट वांट टू बी दैट इन दैट स्ट्रीम के भाई 100 लोग आपको नमस्कार करे पैर पड़े आई एम अ नॉर्मल पर्सन यार लेट मी बी नॉर्मल और जब तक गुरुदेव इज देयर आई एम वेरी हैप्पी बीइंग व्हाट आई एम सो व्हाट एम आई ट्राइंग टू से in Jyotish, Vibhuti ji, this will be very interesting. When I was learning Jaimini Sutras, there is a sutra where it says that when Moon and Venus are associated with the fourth house, it is of a specific divisional chart. A person will have elephants. Now I went back after the class. I sit down, sat in my room, and I started thinking that what is elephant in today's time? Maybe a Rolls Royce, maybe a private jet. And 5 years down the line, when God was very kind, I was called by a lot of famous people, and I started looking at their horoscopes. People, who are billionaires and at that level, each one of them had that combination in the fourth house in that divisional chart. So the knowledge was right. But the elephant, in our Vedic times, was also a very high maintenance vehicle. So only me with my Gujarati mind or my logical setup, I thought कि यार उसका replacement आज के time में कलयुग में क्या होगा? So then I started talking, checking the charts of Mukesh Bhai, Gautam Singhania and those people. And each one of them had. So what am I trying to tell your audience? What am I trying to motivate them? That, hey, listen, uh, learn the knowledge in a very, very logical, rational way. But at the same time, don't get too finicky where you are going to use it for everything that you do. कि morning में उठ के अरे यार, is this a good time to go to the washroom? अरे राहु कालम is going on. अरे यार मैं ये करूँ ना करूँ. Use it for strategic planning. And then that will help you at the same time enjoy your life also. So it has to be both combination. And even with my retainer clients, I tell them that please don't, just because you are my retainer client doesn't mean that I'm going to help you in your day-to-day things कि कार्तिक जी आज मेरे को जुकाम है तो इनहेलर अभी लूं कि 1 घंटे बाद लूं. I'm not going to respond to those things. So start living your life at the same time. Enjoy the knowledge that our Maharishis have given. They are fantastic knowledge. And this should preempt you to maybe ask further questions.
No, it is very important because you use the word destiny. You said destined to. Now I'll give you an example. हमारे मित्र हैं उनका नाम लूंगा आज मैं. रमेश भाटिया नाम है. लेकिन अब गुजर गुजर चुके हैं. वो भी दुबई में बहुत साल रहे हैं. यहाँ पे कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री में थे. मेरे बहुत अच्छे दोस्त थे.
Correct.
और उनका था टोटल सरेंडर.
Correct.
उनका ये कहना था कि दुनिया में जो भी होता है, तुम जो भी करते हो, जो तुम्हारी आवाज, जो शब्दों का तुम चयन करते हो, वो सब भगवान का इंस्पायर्ड है। वो तुम्हारी
Is
डेस्टिनी
he
है।
the one who owns Bhatia Brothers?
I don't know about Bhatia brothers, but he had construction companies, and in Dubai, he migrated to US, and a few months ago
Okay,
he
okay,
passed
okay.
away. But he had hotels here, and a good friend. We got along very well because between the spiritual and the practical, we used to talk about it. तो ये बात वो हमेशा कहते थे कि तुम आए हमारे ऑफिस में, ये भी तुम अपने आप नहीं आए हो, भगवान ने भेजा है तुम्हें, तो मैं तो तुम्हें
Correct,
भगवान का दूत समझ के आदर करता हूँ। I mean, that
correct.
was a very powerful way of conveying this sense of surrender and destiny, which is what makes many people lethargic, as you said.
Hmm.
जो भगवान चाहेंगे वो होगा।
Correct.
लेकिन मैं उसमें उदाहरण देता हूँ कि भगवान ने आपको 56 पकवान आपके सामने रखे हैं, ये खाने के लिए तो हाथ लगाना पड़ेगा भाई।
बिल्कुल,
वो तो खुद
बिल्कुल.
नहीं आएगा। केले के झाड़ के नीचे बैठे बैठे केला ऊपर से गुद टूट करके, पील हो करके आपके मुंह में नहीं जाने वाला है। वो आपके
Exactly.
कर्म डिसाइड करते हैं। तो जब
Correct.
डेस्टिनी और कर्म की बात आती है, सो हाउ डज वन रिलेट द फोरकास्ट अबाउट इट, द एनालिसिस अबाउट इट? जैसे आप लोगों को एडवाइस देते हैं, गवर्नमेंट को एडवाइस करते हैं, अल्ट्रा
Correct.
रिच पीपल को एडवाइस करते हैं, तो वो भी गाइडेंस चाहिए ना। आप उनके कोच हैं, स्ट्रेटेजिक
True.
कोच बन जाते हैं, और आपको जो है वेदर फोरकास्ट आप ज्यादा अच्छा करते हैं। So
True.
tell us something about that. That how does an ordinary person deal with it? Is there something destiny, karmic, कि जो होना
Yeah.
ही नहीं है? तो भी यूएस में तो बहुत लोग इंडिया से आए हुए हैं, सब तो बिलियनर नहीं बन गए।
Correct. Correct.
इतने इतने लोग हैं, सब मुकेश अंबानी नहीं बने, राइट?
Correct.
तो ये एक एक ये कार्मिक डेस्टिनी कैसे कंबाइन होगा, और कैन हाउ कैन वन मेक इट बेटर? दैट्स वन ऑफ द
Correct.
थिंग्स टू नो। ओके, मैं ये
Correct.
गलत कर रहा हूँ, मुझे सही क्या करना चाहिए? How does
Correct.
one take advantage of that from your study and the knowledge?
True. So that is actually what got me very interested into Jyotish, and I got completely sucked into the knowledge, so to say. See that there are various concepts by which we can go, right? So in Jyotish, actually there are 16 divisional charts within their main chart itself. But we have to first understand that your horoscope, let's say somebody is born at a certain time, place, usse horoscope ban gaya, right? But what happens to the karmas after you are born, right? We call it that as kriyaman karma. From the time we are born, we are still doing the karmas. Like based on some past life karmas, Arjuna had to reach Mahabharata or Kurukshetra. But whether to pick up the bow, fight the gurus for dharma, to keep up and say, see, that's where even Shri Krishna said that, boss, this is not a level at which I'm going to help. It is your decision. So that is your kriyaman karma, which is going to define कि okay, chalo, you have based on your past karmas with a purple patch, you have got a half volley. But वो half volley को भी मार के भाई boundary तो पहुंचाना पड़ेगा आपको ही. So that is kriyaman karma, which we see from a chart called Prashna. So now we are getting little interesting and little technical also, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible. So for example, let's say somebody is going to come up to me, like I'll give you a live example of a client I was consulting just before we started the session. Based on his chart, he didn't tell me anything. I said that, listen, are you having some legal challenges? Are you facing something where you could go to jail? And his wife was there. She started crying. Kartik ji, yes, yes. How do you know? And I said that, okay, calm down. So are you a Shirdi Sai Baba worshipper? So he said that yes, and whenever we go to, they stay in US only. So whenever we go, we do this and all. Okay, so that was based on his chart. Then I opened up the Prashna. Okay, so Prashna will tell me that, listen, Karthik, based on last 1 year, few years, what are the karmas he has done to get this? If it was not from a past life karma, or if it is from the past life karma, what is the things that he has done to either activate it even more, or is there any overriding factor? Ki bhai, does the vehicle have a shock absorber? कि बिकॉज देर आर गुड शॉक ऑब्जॉर्वर्स कि ओके चलो गाड़ी चल रही थी, स्पीड ब्रेकर भी आया, बट दे आर एबल टू मैनेज थ्रू दैट राइड बिकॉज ऑफ सम कर्मास. So I told him, listen, this person, who has fraud you, he was a friend whom you met at some meditation center or some spiritual place. He said, yes, I met him at the temple. Now that guy has a Rahu and Maranakaraka in the ninth house. So all those cheating happened there and this guy did it. So anyway, so what I'm trying to say is based on the chart, sometimes what we call it as Dhrida Karma. Dhrida Karma is something, for which you can't say sorry. You have to go through it. Now, how you go through it is up to you. That is again a very, very nice thing. Whether you have reached that level where you say that the buck stops with me. Okay, this is my karma. Take my card, swipe it. मैं 4-digit pin number डाल देता हूँ. Bill it on me. Or are you going to say that no, I'm going to fight for this and take that fight again to the next life and then take it to the next life and then take it to the next life? And at some point of time, you will realize that, hey, this is my Dhrida Karma. I have to go through it. Let me tap the bill. That is where Jyotish helps. That's why I always take offense when people say, Kartik, you are an astrologer. I say, no, I'm not an astrologer. I'm a Jyotishi. Because there is a better SEO word, we say Vedic astrology. Because in normal astrology, there is no concept of soul.
Right.
You are part of that pizza, right? उसमें 12 पीस किया हुआ है. You are born between this month to this month. Okay, you are Arian. You are born between this month and this month. You are a Taurian. Oh, for Taurians this year is very good. Oh, for Arians this year is very bad. And you are trying to tell me that 50 million people who are born during that month are all going to have similar destiny. Whereas Jyotish is very clear. Even twins, which are born in the same place to the same parent around a little difference, are going to have completely different destinies because the time when the umbilical cord is cut cannot be the same. And that comes to, and then that from there we get the concept of time. Okay, bhaiya, what is your birth time? So a lot of time people come with a lot of 100%. Kartik ji, 100%. I was born at 11:30. मेरे को पक्का मेरी मम्मी ने बोला है. And then I start doing rectification. What does your father do? Is he into Air Force? No, no, no. Okay, is he into a business with exactly into textile business? Yes. How do you know? So I said, no, your time is wrong. Because there is a divisional chart which is called as Dwadashamsha, which talks about your parents, including some very, very sad stories which could have happened in your childhood, where kids are raped by their uncle. All those things you can see there. And that is what I'm trying to say, that your motivation to learn Jyotish should be to help people. Everything else is a byproduct. When I was learning Jyotish Vibhuti ji, with a hand on my heart, I never thought I will become even 0.1% famous or known or whatever. I just wanted to learn because, hey, I thought this is a very, very nice way where people will pay you and thank you. See, there are very less professions where people pay you and thank you. If they pay you, they feel, "Arey yaar, theek hai yaar, kaam kar diya, okay, I have transferred the money." But you have to be a damn good astrologer or a damn good lawyer or a damn good doctor, where आप 10 लाख का चेक भी लिख के दोगे और डॉक्टर साहब को थैंक यू भी बोलोगे कि यार आपकी वजह से मैं जिंदा हूँ डॉक्टर साहब. You understand the thought process from where I am coming,
On
and that's why
Thanksgiving Day, I call it the feeling of gratitude. कि जो आप जो
exactly.
जिस बात की चर्चा कर रहे हैं, that is the element of gratitude, not just thank you or whatever. That's what is important. Please go
Yeah,
ahead.
relationship is not just transactional.
Yeah.
Even 10 years later, if they meet me somewhere, they will tell their child that बेटा आप नहीं आते अगर अंकल ने हमको हेल्प नहीं किया होता. Because there are cases where people don't have child for 10 years, 12 years. They have tried IVF, they have tried everything. Finally, they find me somewhere. That again is the bhagya of the child. This is what I'm trying to say. Because ultimately Mahadev has to find the child, send the child. His karmas have come. Now, based on his karma, he can only be born to those parents. So listen, I sometimes feel very fascinated that यार ऊपर ब्रह्मा का सिस्टम गजब का होगा यार. क्या चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस रखते होंगे, क्या अकाउंटिंग सिस्टम है उनका. Huh? So finally, to get that, they know, okay, yaar, these guys are going to go to this doctors. कुछ होने नहीं वाला है. अरे यार, let me show him the website of Kartik Gaur.
Mm.
So finally, they feel okay. चलो जाते हैं यार. बहुत लोगों के पास गए. ये last try कर लेते हैं. And then the child is born, and that child is now learning Jyotish with me. So he was supposed to be my student, but he had to come not through as my child, but he had to come through somebody else's child. This is called as the karma factory which is working. So based on probably some karmas which I am doing good after being born, I am no longer a project manager with Hewlett Packard doing software projects. I am doing Jyotish. I am teaching Jyotish. I am learning Jyotish. I am doing Shiva Mahapuran. I could have not thought of that while I was being a project manager. But somewhere down the line, the past life karma needed a trigger from this life karma also. It is like वो अकाउंट में पैसा है लेकिन भैया वो 4 डिजिट पिन नंबर भी डालना पड़ेगा सो दैट वो
Yeah.
पैसा आएगा या कर्मा आ जाएगा. So that is what is very important. So I always tell everybody that listen, our past life we can't change, right? But there is a special word which got very famous called match fixing, right? Match fixing is something where you know the result and then you play around that, right? So similarly, I tell my students and all, why can't you do horoscope fixing of not this life but of next life? You know that all the good karmas that you do will come as a blessing in a specific chart called as Navamsha, and that blessings will be seen in the trines to the Navamsha, which is house 1, 5, and 9, as a result of which a Sonu Nigam can sing at an age of 4, and I would run away if somebody told me to sing at an age of 4. But he is carrying forward that music legacy from his past life, as a result of which he didn't need a guru. He was born to a father, he was a fantastic singer, but his father also didn't teach him much. वो अपने आप ही गाता था. So what am I trying to say? That, hey, listen, focus on the karmas that you are doing now. And if you are doing not good karmas, frankly speaking, you don't expect good results. Because any astrologer who is telling you that he has magic mantras or magic wand to let go of your negative karmas and whitewash it, भैया उसके पास वो कोई वॉशिंग मशीन है नहीं. वो जैसे ईडी का रेड होगा वैसे शनिदेव का रेड होगा, पक्का होगा. एंड शनिदेव कांट बी ब्राइब्ड. ईडी को तो फिर भी आप मैनेज कर जो होगे बीजेपी ज्वाइन करके, बट शनिदेव शनिदेव को
No, like,
आप
you
मैनेज नहीं
know,
कर पाओगे.
this is a fascinating conversation, a great subject matter, and I'm glad we are talking about it. And of course, I would expect and want you to come back again because जो ज्योतिष शास्त्र आपने सीखा है, जो आपके जो आपने कहा ना कर्मा का जो होता है, कहाँ से कहाँ लगता है पता नहीं चलता. You know, बिल्कुल nobody knows about it. Jyotish is light. Jyoti is light. You had
Yes,
the light coming in your life to know what was happening and you changed tracks. That's what is
लाइट
important.
ऑफ
Yeah, light of word. And दूसरी बात आपने कही थी कि आपको भुगतना पड़ेगा वो जो है, लेकिन आपको खुद ही करें या किसी और से करें. ये मेरे साथ हुआ. There was a moment in time in my life when I felt I was done. Nothing can save me. I was deceived, cheated, and in every single way you can think of from people who I never expected will do that. Right? Even though I got a little warning from my own people, but I didn't pay attention to that because I didn't expect. I was desolate. And then my teacher, who was my mentor kind of a thing, he said, तुम्हें ये शोभा नहीं देता, जाके चैप्टर 2 श्लोक 3 पढ़ो भगवत गीता का. वो
करेक्ट.
क्लेवियम वाला जो था, जो जो मैंने वो पढ़ा तो फिर मेरी जागृति बढ़ी. Yes, I'm not that nikamma, I'm not that napunsak, and I'm not that asahai.
एब्सोल्युटली,
मुझे
एब्सोल्युटली.
अपना युद्ध मुझे खुद ही लड़ना पड़ेगा. And since the moment I took that decision, my life changed. What you are seeing today is that fighting part of it. कि I have
करेक्ट.
to be myself. Nobody, don't count on others. जो आता है उसको आशीर्वाद समझ के लेके आगे चलो. लेकिन
एब्सोल्युटली.
तुम्हें अपना करना पड़ेगा. वो जो बहुत उदाहरण देते हैं हम, you can't control the future but you can control tomorrow.
Correct.
अगर हम 5 किलो मटर पनीर खा लेंगे या 50 गुलाब जामुन इकट्ठे खा लेंगे तो मेरा भविष्य कल का तो निश्चित हो गया। मैंने वो
Right.
तय कर लिया। चाहे वो
Right.
चाहे सार में जो भी कहें। एक बात और पूछनी थी मुझसे आपसे, एंड बिफोर दिस विल बी द लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ द डे टुडे, बट आई
Sure.
वुड होप टू हैव मोर कन्वर्सेशन ऑन दिस, इज दैट समवेयर अलोंग द लाइन आवर नॉलेज, आपने कहा था कि हमारा जो सारा नॉलेज था has been destroyed by invaders of all kinds. और यहाँ पे चूंकि हम बहुत सारे देवताओं की, बहुत सारे अवतारों की पूजा करते हैं, तो उसमें हमें नकार दिया जाता है। तो आई एम जस्ट लुकिंग अप समथिंग, what does Bible say about astrology? And it says believing in the power and authority of astrology goes directly against biblical wisdom, and
Hmm.
scriptures clearly states that chasing after false gods is a sin. That is Matthew 24 by 24. How does living in this world in America, Dubai, and other places, dealing with other belief systems, how do we give respect to what we have? That's the inquiry that I have with you. How does one handle that part? Because biblical Abrahamic faiths are very clear about what they want to do.
Correct.
We perhaps don't know ourselves what we must.
Correct. Correct. So I think the best way, like, what would a cricketer do? What did Sachin Tendulkar do, to take care of criticism? He made runs. Similarly, uh, जैसे जिसको बोलते हैं हिंदी में चमत्कार को नमस्कार. So I have clients globally and from all faiths or religion, and a lot of them come initially with a lot of apprehension. They will say, Kartik ji, you have been highly recommended, but हम लोग believe नहीं करते, but हमको बोला खाली आप 5 मिनट बात कर लो. And in that 5-10 minutes, I just start tuck, 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 tuck. And they almost get frozen. And with after 5-7 minutes, they are like, Kartik ji, chhodiye sab kuch, just go all out. We have 2 hours with you. So what am I trying to say? What did I impress with them with? Not with my height, not with my gemstone. I impressed them with the knowledge. So it is, see, knowledge is almost like music, right? एक म्यूजिक अच्छा होता है यार, हमको पसंद आता है यार, वो कई बार वो अरेबिक म्यूजिक होता है, हमको एक वर्ड समझ में नहीं आता है. कई बार वो स्पेनिश म्यूजिक होता है, हमको एक वर्ड पता नहीं चलता. बट समवेयर डाउन द लाइन इट हिट्स अवर हार्ट. And with knowledge, it is something, it should be rational and it should be tangible, and you have to show them it works. For example, you look at just recent experiences, what I've been talking about. People who are following me on Twitter would know what I've been talking about Trump. Way back
I was
in,
about to ask that. I was about to ask that because you told me in Jaipur that you had predicted in September
yeah,
that nothing will stop Trump from winning.
yeah,
I
December
had mentioned to you that
2023.
I gave the logical reason why Trump will win. My estimate was not based on uh, astrological Jyotish Vidya. I will not say
Correct,
astrological Jyotish Vidya, but mine was based on logic, which you said earlier on. Why?
correct.
Right? So I was predicting that Trump will win because of A, B, C, D, E, F. You were saying this from certain. So tell us more about that because that's where we will end today. Go ahead.
Yeah, including being shot, 2 days before he was shot, I was with another YouTube channel, and I'd given him a complete understanding. Yes, Surya is going to enter Virgo. Two things will happen. A, he can be shot. Very, very high chances of that happening. Second, his fame will go up, right? So that incident happened. Then few people from the Trump campaign messaged me and they wanted to know what to do. And I told them that, hey, listen, Trump has got moon with Aruda Lagna. How about doing something related to food, something related to people in general? Then that McDonald thing happened, right? And after that, now there are many sort of research showing that how much of PR he got, how much of TikTok value he got out of that campaign, lot of other things. But exactly that happened as soon as Surya entered Virgo, and I had given a logic to it. And then I come from that background. Generally with Jyotish is what happened is they always talk about it on the hindsight. एक बार हो गया, बाद में वो ज्ञान देंगे. And that used to always make me very uneasy. यार तुमको ज्ञान देना है तो पहले दो. Stick your neck out. Right? Like Maharashtra election, 3 days before the result, because I was, helping few people, I just made one tweet with Devendra Fadnavis horoscope. That, hey, this is the guy who is only going upwards. He will either be the chief minister or he's becoming the BJP's president. Rest I didn't say, but people who know me understood कि भाई एक hint दे दिया उसने. So when you talk things which are very logical, like Imran Khan, about Imran Khan, I have given so many predictions on Bullseye. About Benazir Bhutto, I have given so many predictions. Narendra Modi ji, I had given a famous prediction way back in 2012, Vibhuti ji, where he was not even BJP's nominee. At that time, I had said that he is going to be BJP's nominee, prime ministerial candidate. He is going to win. He is going to win with majority, and he is going to be a 3-time prime minister. 2012 में. So a lot of people told me, अरे यार तू गुजराती है तो यार तू गुजराती का बोलता है. So and I caught them now. Okay, by that logic, I should now be saying Amit bhai, but I'm putting my bets on Yogi Adityanath. And I'm also the one who had said that Arvind Kejriwal would be a 3-time chief minister. So you can't even brand me as chalo yaar, I have a soft corner, no doubt, for BJP. But when it comes to Vidya, when it comes to knowledge, or when it comes to analysis, you try to be as fair as possible. And that is one of the reasons why astrologers don't sort of do charts of their own family members, their own kids, etc. Because there is a certain level of bias.
That's the same reason why doctors don't treat their own family members, because there is a bias and emotion that comes.
Exactly. वो हाथ हिलेगा operation करते वक्त.
Right. Listen, this has been a fascinating conversation. I remember when we met in Jaipur, we talked about Trump election, and you said that he is winning. And I had given, well, people who were asking me about this election, I was giving them my logical reason why Trump must win and that he's likely to win. And
And
I
I think,
received, I
Vibhuti ji,
received
I got
very,
so many
very,
messages
yeah,
that Kartik ji, what have you said? There is no chance of Trump winning. It is Kamala all the way. Kartik ji, please, it will give you a bad name, this, that. I said that, listen, I'm not taking it back. And then I stood by that, and by the grace of Mahadev, who you see on there, वो त्रिशूल गाड़ के रखा हमने भी, और महादेव ने इज्जत रख दी.
right. जैसे आपको लोगों ने कहा, वैसे मुझे लोगों ने कहा, thank you for your optimism and about Trump winning. I said, that's okay, perfectly fine. Listen, this
True.
has been great interacting with you today, and I would, I would like to talk to you about many more things on this, because I have some spiritual streak in me. Despite having been a private banker and dealing with lots of money and wealthy people, so I have a spiritual streak in me. So I
Correct.
want to share more the logic and the Jyotish. Let's bring
We'll
that.
do that. We'll do that. We'll do
Viewers,
that.
thank you very much for watching today. As I always conclude my shows with my gratitude to my friend who is here and shared his wisdom and knowledge and Jyoti that he shared with you. I always say, Satya में विजय थे. सत्य को जीतने के लिए आपको उठ के खड़ा होना पड़ेगा. सत्य अपने आप से नहीं जीतता. सत्य को आपका सपोर्ट चाहिए. अगर आप ना उठेंगे तो सत्य की विजय नहीं होगी. इसलिए सत्य में विजयते कहते हैं, तो उस पर विश्वास रख के अपना कर्म कीजिए. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe and support our channel. Thank you.
Thank you. Namah
Thank you.
Shivaya. Thank
Namaskar.
you.